you guys about really the next 6 weeks and what we're going to be focusing on. I want to help you guys get to executive as quickly as you possibly can. I think that in Isagenix, the phrase fast is easy and slow is hard is probably the truest of true things that could ever be said. I think that in this company, it takes about 3 weeks to get to executive. Whether you are in Isagenix for a year and then you take 3 weeks and you get it done, or you just take 3 weeks right off the bat and get it done. It really doesn't take that long. It's just a focus. And so we're going to go through and we're going to break down a couple of things. I'm just going to dig right in because I know that we have the back office training at 8:15. So I want to make sure you guys have plenty of time to have a break if you need to get back on that or get your team on that. But the first thing that in going to executive fast, the number one thing is that you really have to have your mindset and your vision in place to make this happen. Sometimes I was listening to a podcast yesterday about sales, and the speaker was saying that what we see so many times is like a 90-day flash where people come in for 90 days and they just hit really, really hard and they do really, really well. And then there's like this, like the stopping point where maybe they don't do as well. And the speaker was talking about how so many times that has to do with belief or doubt that other people are really feeding into you. And I'm just saying this to you not to be negative, but to be very, very upfront that what is going to happen on this journey as you're building and as you're going forward is that you're going to have bumps in the road. Like you might feel some days like, man, I've got it conquered. This is awesome. And then there's going to be days that people turn you down, people question what you're doing, and it will begin to really kind of almost cut you to the core or make you wonder or question. And so what you've got to really understand is that it's so important that you have your mindset clear, that you know why you're doing this and what is your why. And so I think that the first thing in getting your mindset really where you need it to be is you've got to understand, why are you doing this? Why are you doing Isagenix? And for me, there have been times that I have felt like I'll hear someone will say, what's your why? And they'll be on the stage at Celebration or wherever, and they're saying things like, my why is to have drill wells in Africa and to set the world free and all of this stuff. And, you know, I've tried to like make myself fit into that mold, but in all reality, my why is this. Like in my life, I've had really, really bad financial setbacks, and I've been through times in my life where I've had to make decisions based upon finances that I'd rather not make, and I've financially been in a place that I can't even be present in the moment with the person that I'm with because I'm so worried about my finances that legitimately my why is to never, ever, ever be in that place again. And so that is what drives me. And so, I mean, right now it's my daughter's wedding where I committed to that we would not get a loan for that in any way, that I'd pay cash for that. And so it's a commitment that I have to pay cash for an entire wedding. And so it gets me up, it gets me out, it moves me, it's my why. And so whenever people start questioning what I'm doing, talking about how much I work, different things like that, I have this why that's in place that really helps to keep me grounded. And so you've got to know why you're doing what you do, why you're doing this, because opposition is going to hit. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. So you don't want to be taken surprised by that. I'm not taken surprised. Whenever something negative comes my way, somebody says something negative, someone rejects me, I'm not taken by surprise by that. In fact, in a sense, I expect it. It's not that I walk around and I'm looking for something bad, but anytime I'm on a major high, I mean, we're coming off of our best weeks ever, but yet I've had a couple people say a couple negative things to me lately, and I'm not surprised by that, because that's just how it goes. I mean, it's biblical. Like, the enemy comes to steal and kill and destroy, and so it's going to happen. And so what we've got to do is we've got to really keep in our mind our why. Why are we doing this? What is our passion? What is our call? I will tell you this as well, as an entrepreneur, whenever you're setting out and you're on task and you're getting ready to go forward and create things in your life, most people in this world are not entrepreneurial. Most people are followers. Like, it's a huge average. Dr. Stevie was talking about this in a presentation that she did a couple months ago, but it's something like only 2 to 6% of people are entrepreneurial. That means 98% of the people in the world will not understand your entrepreneurial mindset. They're not going to understand it. And so a lot of times when they're coming against you or they're saying things to you, it's not that they're a hater. It's not that they're hating on you or they're hating on the idea that you're getting ready to branch out and do this business. It's more so that they are naysayers, meaning that they care about you. They don't want you to get hurt, and they just don't understand why you're trying to do what you need to do. But I believe with everything that's in me as an entrepreneur, as a business builder, as a mom, as a person, as a human being, we have a moral and ethical responsibility to do the very best that we can with the talent we've been given. And so if that's in the business world, we have to apply that. So that's also my mindset. So my mindset, or my why, also is the continual question to myself: am I doing my very, very best that I possibly can? Am I being solution focused instead of problem focused? I will never, ever be caught focused on a problem. That's not going to happen. When a problem comes, like, I might react to it for about 30 seconds, but I'm immediately going to the solution. So those are the things that you've really got to have to get your mindset in place. The other thing that you've got to really understand with your mindset and with your vision is you don't have to have it figured out with Isagenix how you're going to do it. The how is, you're never going to figure out the how before you have a vision or before you set out. I think so many OCD or analytical people will want to figure it all out. So they'll want to know, okay, I've got to know exactly how I'm going to do it. I've got to have all my ducks in a row. You're never going to have all your ducks in a row when you're a creative entrepreneur, which is what you are, before you make money, before it happens. In the entrepreneurial world, it's a little bit more like ready, fire, aim, than ready, aim, fire. Because what happens is whenever you're setting your goal and you're setting your vision, you're setting your why, and you're making that decision, what you've got to do is you've got to get committed to the outcome. So when you are truly committed to going executive and making this $3,500 for your family right off the bat, when you are committed, there will not be any wild horses cannot hold you back, because your mind, the commitment, stirs the creativity out of your soul so that you're able to really become creative. So for me, I'm never looking at how am I going to do it. I'm looking at what's my vision, where am I going, and what happens is the creativity happens as part of it. A lot of times people will say things like, well, when I set my commitment or I set my intent, what happens is that a lot of people will start coming into my life that really are what I'm looking for. They have the characteristics that I'm looking for in my business. But what I really believe is I believe that there are always people in your life. I believe that people cross your path continuously that need what you have and also have what you need. But when you're not committed, you don't recognize it, because we get caught up in why we can't or why we we're not, versus how can I, and getting super creative. So commitment to your goal will actually cause the creativity that you're looking for. So you've got to get committed, and then you're going to find the creativity that you're looking for. This is all the mindset stuff that you want to really look at. The other thing that I want to really encourage you to do is overpromise yourself. I think the statement, I'm going to underpromise and overdeliver, is used way too much in the American society, and I think it's a cop-out. I think that for me, when I look at my team, my shared left team, where I'm personally enrolling right now, and I commit, listen, I'm personally enrolling 20 business builders down that leg. That is an overpromise. It is a big promise. But this is the thing. My feet are willing to get behind my mouth. Like my feet, I'm going to do what I said I'm going to do. So I'm not going to underpromise, because if I underpromise, then I'm not going to attract the leaders that I need to attract into my life. And so you've got to really make a decision about what you want. Do you want to be a six-figure earner? Do you want to make this business big? Do you want to be all out? Do you want to be bigger, better, faster, harder? What do you want to be? And you've got to set that, and you've got to begin to talk it to other people. It's like this little light of mine. Like, I've got to let it shine. You've got to let it shine. Because if you're not talking about where you're going, and you're not talking a big, audacious vision, you are never going to lead a visionary. Because nobody that thinks bigger than you is ever going to follow you. And so if you have big thoughts in your mind, they've got to come out of your mouth so that you're super attractive to the leaders that you're trying to bring onto your team. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about is really kind of moving forward and the how-to. So that vision's there, the mindset's there. I would beg every one of you, and if you're my personally enrolled, I've already been on you about this, but I would beg every single one of you to purchase the book, The 10-Time Rule by Grant Cardone. Just purchase it on audio. If you've never had an Audible book, you can get it free. Like, you can just sign up for Audible. You can get it free. Your first book is free. But it's The 10-Time Rule by Grant Cardone. I think that book, we just cleaned out our storage, and literally my husband, like, I have so many books. It's not even funny. Like, I have read probably 5 books a month since I was 26 years old. I'm 44. And The 10-Time Rule by Grant Cardone is the best business book that I've ever read. And if you're an entrepreneur, which you are, I just recommend that you get that. Listen to 2 hours a day of that. Not 2 hours a day, 30 minutes a day until it's done. Feed your mind. Get your mind going with that. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about going ahead then and taking that action. What is the action? What does the action look like? So the number one is this. You want to really design what you're looking for with your team. And so who are you looking for? What types of people do you want on your team? I want high energy people. I want people that don't complain. I want visionaries. I want people that will find a way, make a way. So what types of people are you looking for on your team? If you do not design your team will design itself. And pretty soon, this is going to sound super negative. And it's like a kind of sorry, I'm not sorry. I'm just going to say it. And pretty soon what you're going to do is you're going to have a whole team of people that are calling you because they think they're bloated, or they're like, oh, how do I mix my shake? And all of these things because you didn't design your team. Like and so you've got to design it in order to get the types of people that you're looking for. So who are you looking for on your team? And then what you've got to do then is you've got to match those attributes to people that you know. Who do you know or kind of know that you think would be amazing at this business? Who are they? This is the thing. If you know you're going to blow this business out of the water, people would be crazy to not come onto your team because of what you're going to be adding below them. Like, I look at Katie. Katie would have been crazy to not come onto my team. I mean, there's probably already 7 people below her. She would have been crazy to not come onto my team because of what I'm bringing. And so because of what you're bringing, your energy, if you go and you don't hold back and you're forthright about what you're doing, you're going to be able to attract the right people onto your team, and they're going to say yes. And so think about who you're looking for. For me, I'll look at someone's Facebook and I'm like, who's getting a lot of likes on their pictures? Or who's getting a lot of likes on Instagram? Who, when I see them, has a smile on their face and they're not whining around? Who do I know that is willing to get off the beaten path? I mean, really think about those people and literally make a list of who it is that you want to talk to. Sometimes people in network marketing or Isagenix will talk about burnout. I'll have someone call me on the phone and they'll go, Amy, I'm burnt out. And the first thing that I think when someone's having a burnout in sales or a burnout in network marketing, burnout is a sign that what you really desire to do, what you're doing is conflicting with what your call is or what you love to do. And so the only time I find myself burned out in Isagenix is when I'm surrounded by a ton of people that are draining my energy. But if I'm surrounded by a ton of people that are draining my energy, I actually chose that because I let my team design itself versus me designing my team. And so you've got to really think about those people. Who do you want on your team? There is nothing at all wrong with leading from the business side, and I will jump up and down. I will run around the house. I will do cartwheels to get people to understand that leading from the business, if you are a product-focused, health-focused guru, leading from the business will get you in front of more people than leading from the product ever will. I mean, I think about Maria, where she came in, a week and a half ago, and already down under her, I think that there's 7 or 8 people. And those, if Maria would have been product focused, there's no way that she would have added 7 or 8 people to her team that are now experiencing health. And so focusing from the business side is going to touch health and wealth. But focusing on the health side is only going to touch health. It's not going to touch wealth, and you're not going to touch as many people. So there is absolutely nothing wrong with looking at who would be amazing. So this is what I want. This is your assignment. So every Thursday there will be assignment. Every Tuesday there's going to be assignment. So this is your assignment that is due by noon tomorrow. So what I want you to do is I want you to really think about, who do you know that if they did this business would be great at it? Who do you know that you would love to get on your team, that you would love to have in this business? And we're looking for a list of 10 amazing people that you think would be great in the business. What you can't do is you can't say, I don't have 10 people. I don't know who they are. You can't say that. You can't. Because remember, you are committed to going executive. And when you're committed to going executive, then your mind will get creative in who you know or who you kind of know. And it really does work that way. So who are those 10 people? And what I want you to do is by noon tomorrow, I want you to message me and I want you to say, Amy, I have my 10 people. I know who they are. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get on the phone with you and I'm going to coach you to what we need to do to actually talk to those people. Now, some of you already have a couple of people on your team. If you have people on your team that you think it could be them, they can go on there. So I might have a team member on my team that I brought in from the product side that really I didn't talk to about the business. They can go on that list. But this is the deal. It's like, we've been going to CrossFit. It's super extreme. It's like that. Like, they're like, not doing it is not an excuse. Like, you've got to have that list. And so I want to hold you accountable to that because we have to build the foundation. I know you're hungry for a business and we've got to build the foundation. So my question, A, is who are those 10 people? And B, I want you to really think about if you knew that you knew that you knew that you couldn't fail, what would be the amount of money that you'd like to make? What would it be? What would you want your life to look like? And don't lessen what you really want. I mean, when I lay in bed at night and I close my eyes, I picture this house on the beach in Alabama that I'd love to buy. And so that's my big audacious vision. And I'm not going to lessen that and say, oh, I just want to redo my kitchen cabinets. That's lessening my vision, and that's going to get me nowhere. I can promise you this, there's no way that you can cast a vision out to me of what you want that I cannot believe with you. It's impossible. And so I want you to write that down of what you want to happen, and then I want you to write down those best 10 people. Like, you don't have to call them. You don't have that. Your question is not, do they want to do it? It's just, who would you love to have? And so by noon tomorrow, I'm expecting those two things in my inbox so that then we can take those next steps. And we're going to do some activity then even before next Tuesday when we'll come back together and do another training. Is that good, guys? All right. Well, guys, let me know. Don't forget to message me. So step 1. All right. All right. Bye, guys.
Thanks,
Bye.
Amy. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Thanks, Amy.
Bye, guys.